Hello everybody and welcome back after the short break we had of Dark Mewtwo vs Mauser. We're back yet again with another match. This time we will be having LS Astal versus JoseXD. I'm back again at Macaville to commentate another round, but this time Sunny decided to take a break. So I'm joined by none other, the man himself who took a 1 hour break. The one and only Epic Man!
Way! Alright, yeah, just definitely builds quite the suspense here, but yeah, we're back again. We've got another match. Both of these players have made it out of the qualifiers, and both these players have set some impressive scores all around. Astal having the higher end of the stick and is looking to at least maintain a position in the winners bracket, but Jose is also looking to combat that by all means necessary. This is going to be a close match, or at least it's definitely going to be interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, judging from the seeding as we see here, LS Astal across the board is pretty consistent in everything except for stage 7. But, you know, the seeding, of course, doesn't really matter too much in my book. Jose is slightly lower in terms of stage 7. Seems to be, he may be, avoiding the release type of chart and go for those kind of maps that is like stage 7, which is, well, density. So, without further ado, let's go into the ban, protect, picks, and all that. They actually have started right before we change the screen. So, we will be having Jose's protect on wildcard 1 and Astal's protect on the Earth, which is technical 2. The bans is coordination 1 and wildcard 3 from both Jose and Astal. And the first choice will be wildcard 2 from Jose. Like I said earlier, he may be going with the style of maps that is similar to stage 7 or mixing it up, we'll see. But first pick nonetheless is gonna be from Jose, choosing wildcard, one of the wildcard.
Yeah, definitely quite an interesting map to start off with. This is kind of, honestly, I don't think I've really seen this map actually being played out in so many matches right now, and just the fact that this is being thrown out as like the first pick that starts the whole match off is honestly really interesting. And especially with this one being Jose's pick, this definitely makes a little sense because this one is definitely probably one of arguably the most technical maps that we have, both technical in the song itself and then technical in the map as a whole. So definitely adds to the salt here while we're going to just about get onto the map as we wait for the client to line up.
Yeah, now, like you mentioned, not many people decided to choose this map. I can understand why, since this song itself does have some polyrhythmic changes in the BPM. That and Rule Blazing has added a ton of 1/8 short long notes in those tight releases that we are seeing here right now, mixed with longer release note. That's why most people is not choosing this map. It's easy to drop 200s against competent and really strong long note players to begin with.
Absolutely, and this one being relatively old of a map as well. This had, I believe I recall this map being first made back in 2019 or so. So just about when the first iteration of this tournament was even happening to begin with. So definitely does spell a bit about the type of expectation you would probably have for this map, and that, well, we can at least have this type of stuff in today's standards. It's just that it's really less expected, basically, just knowing majority of the tournaments and how their standards are really. But so far so good. Astal does have the advantage going off of quite a plethora of misjudgments that Jose has been taking.
Yeah, Jose did drop a few 200 at the first half, like we see just now, while Astal is still holding onto the 99.83% with the slight accuracy margin on her lead, but it's not too big of a lead to the point it's comfortable yet, as we are still having more of those, like I said, 1/8 long note type releases getting in more and more as we enter the second half of the map, shortly entering the last quarter as well. So, but Jose did find a drop on the long notes. Slight mishap from the early release right there with the finger control independency, while Astal is just running away right now, while Jose is catching back up on the 400 combo, giving the score lead more towards Astal right now.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I feel like this map is kind of a little risky to start the map off with, because it is established that Astal is very well rounded when it comes to the fields of LN, especially when it comes to at least treading across the weight across the sand. And even then, Joe's kind of not having the same exact foundation as Astal has here. It kind of goes to show that like these kinds of maps are really risky to like throw out at the start of the match. This is like the type of map that personally I would have felt like seeing like late into the match, where it's really necessary to start taking risks. But that aside, that's going to be the introductory point going to Astal 994K. And Joe's doing a really good job at being able to combat that as well, even despite getting so much more misjudgments and all that, and losing the ratio battle by quite a hefty amount. It's now just time to move on to some of the more straightforward maps, so to say. So Coordination 3 is going to be the one that gets to pick next.
Yeah, we will be having Coordination 3, in my opinion, the more unorthodox release map compared to, for example, Coordination 1, where it's more on the simultaneous triple note release that we get. This one is the Mysterian Special, the unorthodox change of snap in the release you get at the beginning and at the end when holding and releasing. This is more on the finger independency control on when to press properly, with the slight off change of the offset that is mapped with the snapping that they are given.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to see this in a very good portion of Mysterious maps from what I know, especially having gotten to know him as a mapper for Lord knows how long.
Wow.
Definitely like quite the veteran when it comes to LN mapping, and especially with the fact that he also was just about close to winning in the second iteration of this tournament as well, quite a few years back. So that aside, that is enough. I don't know. Nostalgia basing, I guess. We can continue talking about that.
He did start mapping ever since, if I'm not wrong, 2019 up until now. He's been around for a long time, despite not playing anymore. He's still working relentlessly for us, tournament community in general, a better mapping side, and so on and so forth, providing us the maps and opportunity to use. But as I was saying, that Jules did find a miss just right before the first chorus starts. As right into the key IV start, he will slowly go up into the 400 combo mark. But there is a pretty big lead in terms of accuracy and combo as well going into Astal.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then, that miss from Joe's is going to really bring the lead over to the side of Astal, going to allow it to sustain for quite a good while going into the back of the chart. There's still a lot that this map has to offer really on the silver platter. So I feel like there can be opportunities for Astal to be able to find some drops as well, reciprocating exactly what happened with Joe's earlier. But at the same time, I can't really bank on it, knowing how consistent Astal has been just throughout this map and also the previous map as well, really.
Yeah, seems about right. As we are slowly, going into the second chorus, well, right before the solo, of course, into the ending chorus, Astal still has a pretty comfortable lead in terms of accuracy, slightly beyond 10,000 points lead as well. Jules really needs to find the accuracy back up in this last half. Like just now when Dark Mewtwo was playing this, he did find a few misses here and there due to change of BPM and how it was mapped. But it seems like it took another victim this time around as well, as Jules pound another miss before the second chorus comes in. Second victim to the pre-second chorus, as we see.
Yeah, this next miss from Joe's is definitely going to pretty much be the spelling factor for their turmoil going into this map. It's already like too far into the whole map to be able to at least allow for any kind of lead to be given, and now it's looking to be in about 20,000 points of favor to Astal here. So going to take that next point as well, starting out with that break point as well. This is now going to be Joe's turn to pick next to be able to decide what is going to be the better option to look into for the future of the match, because there's still quite a lot of options on the board. We have seen the fight be a lot better when it came to the second wild card map, so I would not be surprised if we went into something that's a little more technical, knowing that they also protected Tech 2. Actually, no, that wasn't him.
Either maybe the density, hopefully, since we did see stage 7, he is about more or less on par with Astal in that aspect, but we'll have to see what he will be choosing, as currently it's 2-0 to Astal sides. Astal was able to take the first breakpoint from him, and we'll be getting wildcard 1, the jazz music. Yo!
Let's go. Okay, interesting map.
Let's get some jazz in the mood, shall we?
This is exactly what I would literally say to someone when I'm literally awesome them out or something. I don't know. Anyways,
Actually,
yeah.
What are you doing for the past few hours commentary? And your mind is just jazz. That's it.
Mayhaps. Or maybe it's just ramen, because I ate that. Who knows?
True. I mean,
Yeah.
it fits the setting. You have to eat ramen, as you know, this tournament is the long note tournament. If you're eating rice, I think you're in the wrong place.
Well, yeah, that stuff should be saved for later, especially since, redacted, so... But that's
Yeah.
we can move on to the match itself. Both these players have sent out their good luck, have fun. It's now time to go through the map itself. Joe's starting off a little bit of a rough start in comparison to Astal here. That's going to put them quite a bit behind, only behind by a few hundred points, and especially then not being able to act a lot of these streams as well, but even then being able to recover that accuracy score is just about good enough for their measure.
Yeah, and not to mention, this is also the start of the map. We just got over the 400 combo. As the map later gets later and later, we will be seeing more of a score lead or score close gap between the two players. As you know, as time goes on, accuracy can increase, accuracy can be decreased depending on the section you're playing. And right now, Astal is holding on to a pretty comfortable accuracy, 99.87% right now, while Jose is falling behind just by a slight bit. But if he can find the accuracy back up, there's still a chance to catch back up to the likes of Astal's current accuracy.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially as we can see here so far, Jose has been doing a really good job being able to maintain the accuracy so far, not being able to catch out any misses just yet, which is just about the name of the game here. Just as long as you don't miss on anything in this map, then you should be fine. But even then, the consistency is another game that really plays into factor here, and it can really have an absolute effect and impact on the mental if it does not go in your way, in which so far it's really just in the edge of Astal here, getting the better end of the stick in comparison to Joe's, who's really just trying to tug at it right now, but unfortunately not having so many opportunities to be able to take it back, because Astal's just consistent. I mean, well, that was
99.86 still. Come on, like, can you drop some ag here and there? Come on. Anyway, 99.85% still from Astal. Jose is still trying to catch back up. The important thing, triple jack, no one miss or drop any ag there. The important thing about early game tournament in general is that you need to have the mental fortitude of that being really consistent to hopefully not drop, and also have the accuracy to back it up, because it's always in the early round that anything can happen. High seed or top seed versus the lower ends of the seeding, it really doesn't matter until the very late game, where your skill actually starts to, falter, or maybe gets more laid back. But as we see here, Astal just ran away with that, with almost a 995k on their board, almost a V1SS against Jose's 987k.
Yeah, Joe's doing a really good job of being able to at least keep things close together, at least being able to prove their fighting chance. But even then, still no match for Astal here, who still wins off of a near V1SS score. And now we are going into what appears to be Astal's Protect. So that is going to be none other than the Earth. Wow, okay.
You know what? Before this map starts, I want to give a funny backstory. So if I am not wrong about I think a year ago, Imperial actually sent me this map or showed me this map that he's working on. And back then, he actually implemented SV in one section or something. And the instant when I watched the Run of 64 map pool showcase is when I saw this map, I thought to myself, Imperial, you little piece of work. Because he showed me this. He showed me this on purpose about a year ago. I didn't know this was gonna be used, so this was a shocker.
Yeah, I don't know. This tournament is really just unpredictable when it comes to what maps are exactly going to be used. I mean, you can probably take a gander that there's lots of maps to be used, namely probably some more famous ones, some classics, some modern classics as well from maybe last year or so, and also some pretty cool customs here and there that are waiting in store to be released, really, as we are going to be advancing for future weekends and stuff, you know?
Honestly, what I can say in this map pool is that this has a mix of both the appeal to older gen players from 3 to 4 years ago when they actually played this kind of maps, and appeal to the newer gen players who has the customs and newer style map that is specifically made for this round specifically. It has both nostalgia on the old players and the comfort of those new players, you know?
Yeah, exactly that. And I feel that it provides a really good balance going into the Round of 64 map bracket because of the fact that it is the easiest map pool out of all the other ones you're going to see. So there's bound to be a lot of customs and also a lot of like classics that are present here. So, but that aside, going into this next section, we're going into the chorus of this song now, and so far, I think I accidentally hit my microphone intrusively. Astal still getting the better end of the stick right here, as I have been waffling about for non-stop ages, and now going into the final section, it's just these final graces still going to at least maintain the momentum accumulate upon these, and that is going to be it. The misjudgments on Joes are ultimately what costed it, and now there is a 15k score difference.
E1 double S as well, under 200 perfects from Astal.
Yeah, 199 perfects as well. Oh my goodness.
On technical 2 is no. On technical 2, which is this kind of whacked up snapping, it's just no. Come on.
I mean, you can't even stop these players. That's the scary part. Like, you just see like the type of stuff that they're doing, and they're just gonna keep running away with it like there's no tomorrow. But that is going to bring us back into Joe's pick, but they are in quite a bad situation.
Yeah, in a bad situation, we must not forget about the bangers. That is Uma Musume, the famous hit global release recently game called Uma Musume Pretty Derby. You can play both on mobile and Steam, and coincidentally will be our Density 3 pick.
I don't know why, but what?
I am definitely not trying to make people play the game, you know, just saying they have good music, they have roguelike gameplay, and, you know, even the mappers, Faturaj, love the song that he mapped it for this tournament.
Yeah. Bro, I don't know why, but I was literally just about to say, what you were saying literally gives, like, mad, this stream was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends Energy, and I was literally about to lose it. Like,
yeah, what's the point?
I don't know. If they're gonna end the match, then they gotta do it on a high note at least, especially with this map specifically. There's a good reason why it's the Density 3 map.
They gotta end it with a bang. With
exactly.
You know, I mean, I honestly didn't expect Uma Musume to pop off this hard on global release, since I have followed the JP game a little bit and the anime from a few years ago. So when the global release came out, I remembered, oh, I watched this anime before, but I didn't know the game itself was gonna blow up to basically everyone across the world, no matter their age or, you know, what their sort of game is like. It just appealed to almost everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's just the most special thing about this game in general, because I do recall that I've heard about it in certain places like a few years back on some online websites where, I don't know, I saw like fan art of some of the characters in the game, and then just seeing it get some really mainstream exposure going into this year is actually kind of insane. But that aside,
maybe too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's either you just take it or leave it, really. But that aside, we can the only final core of the map, and Astal has some tremendous accuracy, going 5,000 points or so of a difference that is in her favor. I feel like it's already too late to turn the wheel. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's too late as we are entering the last end. This is the shortest density as well. Astal closing this map off with a 99.90%. 996k against Joe's 988k. Not a bad score from Joe's, if I do say so myself. I did play this map. He has a higher score than me. But goddamn, Astal, chill.
Literally, bro, he's already dead. Stop it. Like...
Yeah,
but anyways,
man.
that aside, that is going to be it. 5-0 in Astal's name and 996k, almost 997k to top it off for this round. Before we proceed with the rest of the round of 64 matches, there's still so much more to lo and behold of. But now Astal going to be punching their ticket into the round of 32 bracket, well deservingly, and going to be knocking Joe's into that lower bracket, which is definitely going to be quite the danger, really. But that aside, Astal already has an opponent set for the next round. It's actually going to be Seed 16 Stereotype, and then Joe's is going to be facing none other than the likes of Anthony as well, Seed 49. Very close seedings.
Exactly. But you know, as we go into the next round of 32, like Epic Man said, the next round that Astal will be facing in the winner's bracket will be Salutation. And ignore the fact that Sans is dancing there with Nod. That will be actually our next match happening at 18 UTC. So about 1.5 hours from now, we will be having Nod versus Giselle happening. It's not Sans versus Giselle from Bleach. Please, it's not. It's the actual players, not the characters themselves. But yeah, we will be having that match next up. And for next week, Astal will be having a rough time since, as we all know, Stereotype, also known as Salutation, is a monster from South Korea. One of the best long-lived player in the country for them. So this is going to be a tough matchup for both parties, actually.
Indeed, but that aside, we were meant to have a match that was going to be happening during the next hour, but that has been pushed to 5 UTC, which was going to be match 32. So that was going to be Machalate versus Max Delaney. So instead, we are going to be taking a bit of an 1.5 hour break before we jump back in with Nod versus Gazelle. So going to be a cool match to watch, and I guess that's pretty much all that I have to say for this match. This one was pretty short and sweet. We may as well just take that break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, especially you. You're gonna be commentating for another 1 hour, combining from what, 3 hours you did earlier today? Non-stop?
Well, yeah, basically that, but it's fine, trust me. It's the last one I have. I'll just leak that there.
Yep. But yeah, that's it from me, Adam Ackerville. Signing out, do you have any last closing words to say before we have our sweet break, Epic Man?
Thank you for your amazing scores.
Hop on Uma Musume.
Exactly, but yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. No more, no less.
Alright, and that will be us commentators signing out. Goodbye, everyone. See you in 1.5 hours.
Toodaloo.